I think some of them might have their exam, so they will just go through the recording, right? So we will complete motion in a plane, guys. Yesterday I was supposed to take the class, but I didn't find time at all. Today also, now I was coming inside and they're saying, you can postpone the class, you can postpone the class. But that is not how it is. Now we cannot cancel the class because we are almost very near to the NEET examination. Right. So I think we studied regarding vectors, the properties of vectors, different cases of vectors. We have studied relative motion in two dimension, right? What would be the different conditions we have seen, guys, right? And in the same manner, we have also discussed regarding horizontal projection. So let us try to understand few things related to oblique projection and circular motion. We'll complete within half an hour this, and the next 1.5 or 2 hours we will solve the questions of motion in a plane. Okay. So we have seen horizontal projection from a certain height when object is projected horizontally, right? Then such type of motion will be a horizontal projection. Whether you take a horizontal projection, whether you take vertical projection, whether you take oblique projection, every object moving under the influence of gravity in space or in plane will be considered as a projectile, and the motion associated with such particles will be called as projectile motion. So we have discussed what is the time of flight in horizontal projection, what is the range we have seen, right? And we also discussed what is speed at any instant, what is the speed with which it is going to hit the ground, right? So these points we have discussed. Let us try to understand what would be oblique projection. See, oblique projection are of two types again. It will be ground to ground projection, or it will be projection from a certain height. So when I say oblique projection, let us majorly focus on ground to ground projection again, right? So you should be basically aware, if I am projecting it from here on the ground, again it is going and falling on the ground itself, right? So both these points, initial as well as final position, are on same horizontal level. When 2 points are on same horizontal level, then we will consider that the vertical displacement between those 2 points will be zero. So basic things you need to know: the entire time taken from initial position to final position is called as time of flight, and what it is given as, it is given as 2u sine theta divided by g. Okay. In the same manner, if we talk about maximum height, the maximum vertical displacement attained during the entire motion will be called as the maximum height, and it is given as u square sine square theta divided by 2g. You need to remember certain formulas, guys. The horizontal displacement attained during time of flight will be called as range. It is given as u square sine 2 theta divided by 2g. Right? We also have something called as equation of trajectory. Any relation between horizontal displacement and vertical displacement, an equation which relates horizontal displacement at any instant and vertical displacement at any instant, that relation will be called as equation of trajectory, and basically it can be given as y will be equal to x tan theta into 1 minus x by r. Now if you look at this point, during the entire motion, object will be moving only under the effect of gravity. If I resolve this into two components, I am going to get u cos theta in horizontal direction, and I am going to get u sine theta in vertical direction. Is there any acceleration in x direction? No acceleration in x direction. So at every point, the horizontal component of velocity will remain same. At maximum height also, you are going to have only horizontal component of velocity. And what will be vertical component of velocity here? Vertical component of velocity will be zero at maximum height. Okay, and you are going to have only horizontal component, which is u cos theta. Similarly, you take any point, horizontal component will always remain same because there is no acceleration in x direction. What will change? Vertical component will be changing. We have studied in the previous session, that whenever object is projected vertically upwards, what is going to happen to speed? Speed will first decrease and then it will be increasing. In the same manner, here also, whatever is motion under gravity, same will be motion in vertical direction for a projectile. Right? When I say motion under gravity, right, the same will be the motion in y direction for a projectile, guys. You take any projectile, its y direction motion will be same as that of motion under gravity that we study in motion in straight line. Clear, all of you? So I'll take some points here. Let us assume this to be some O. Let us assume this to be some A, this is B, and this is P, guys. P is some arbitrary position. So I'll just draw the cases for all the points now. If I take point O, what component does it have? It will have u cos theta, and it is going to have u sin theta. If I take component A, guys, or point A, which component is going to have? It is only going to have horizontal component, which is u cos theta beta. If I take point A, which is the maximum height. In the same manner, if I take point B, which is the point of landing, will horizontal component change? Never. Horizontal component will remain same. Now, what will happen to vertical component? In vertical direction, with whatever speed is being projected, it is going to hit back with the same speed, but in opposite direction, guys. So what we can take here, our speed is u. Here also our speed will be u only. Now, angle of projection should always be taken with horizontal. So what is angle of projection here? Theta. So it is projected by making an angle theta, guys. It is also going to hit back by making the same angle theta again. Right? So when it is projected by making an angle theta with the horizontal, the object is going to hit back by making the same angle theta with the horizontal. Is that clear, all of you? Yes or no? I hope it is clear. So at maximum height, what will be 0? Vertical component of velocity will be 0. Horizontal component will definitely be there, guys. Now, if I take arbitrary point P, let us say, let us imagine an arbitrary point P. Right, we have taken an arbitrary point P. What are the situations here? We will try to understand. Will horizontal component change? No, you will have u cos theta itself. But what will happen to vertical component? It will be u sin theta minus gt. How will you find velocity at any instant? Right, on the path of the projectile. How will you find velocity at any instant? Just by drawing a tangent at that particular instant. Now here, the velocity at any instant will make an angle beta. So what we can write regarding tan beta beta? If I want to write tan beta, which is the direction of velocity, I will write it as u sin theta minus gt divided by u cos theta. So what is beta value here? It gives us direction of velocity at any instant, which is given as tan inverse of u sin theta minus gt divided by u cos theta. It is very, very important case again. In the same manner, if I want to write velocity at any instant, how will you write velocity at any instant? It has two components of velocities. One is horizontal component, which I'll write it as u cos theta, and the other is vertical component, which is u sin theta minus gt j cap. Right? And if I want to find speed at any instant, how will you find speed at any instant, beta? At any instant, speed will be magnitude of velocity. So I will get it as under root of u cos theta whole square plus u sin theta minus gt whole square. These all formulas you should be aware, guys. Instead of remembering the formulas, although remembering formulas are important, but right, I will always consider that instead of simply remembering formulas, it's better to remember the process again, guys. How to solve the question is very important rather than simply remembering the formula again. Clear? So what we need to know? We need to know direction of velocity at any instant, what would be speed at any instant, and what would be velocity at any instant. Okay. Clear, all of you? Yes or no? Understood at any arbitrary point? I hope so. Now, if I imagine point O to have coordinates 0, 0, point P to have coordinates x, y, relation between x and y will be given by equation of trajectory, which is x tan theta into 1 minus x by r, or you can remember it as x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. Usually you'll get questions based on this x tan theta into 1 minus x by r. Understood, all of you? So what will happen to speed? During its ascent, speed will be decreasing. During its descent, speed will be increasing. So just like motion under gravity, when you are projecting the object vertically upward, speed decreases and then increases. In the same manner, for projectile motion also, when you are projecting it from ground, first speed will decrease, then it will be increasing. At a particular point, what will happen to its vertical component of velocity? At a particular point, vertical component of velocity will become 0. At that point, you are going to have only horizontal component of velocity. That point happens to be maximum height given as u square sin square theta divided by 2g. Is that clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right. Now, one very important case, all these I have explained just now, guys. Now, what is the very important case is when velocity is perpendicular to initial velocity. Velocity at any instant has to become perpendicular to initial velocity. When will it become perpendicular to initial velocity? At a time u divided by g sine theta, guys. And always remember, velocity will become perpendicular to initial velocity only if the angle of projection is more than 30 degrees. Right? If it is less than or equal to 30 degrees, there is no case or there will not be any instant where velocity will become perpendicular to initial velocity. How is velocity given as initial velocity? Is given as u cos theta I cap plus u sine theta j cap. What is velocity at any instant? Just now we have written, guys. Horizontal component, that is not going to change. But what is vertical component? U sine theta minus gt j cap. So what they are asking? For velocity to become perpendicular to initial velocity, beta. For velocity to become perpendicular to, for velocity to become perpendicular to initial velocity. Now, when will two vectors be, if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, what is the condition, beta? Their dot product, velocity at any instant and initial velocity should be how much? 0. It's a very, very important condition again. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, the dot products will be 0. So what are we going to get? The time at which velocity will become perpendicular to initial velocity will be u divided by g sine theta, and velocity can become perpendicular to initial velocity only in one case, when angle of projection is more than 30 degrees. Is that clear, all of you? And if I am not wrong, the speed at that instant, it will be given as u cot theta beta. The speed at that instant will be given as what? It will be given as u cot theta. This will be the speed at that particular instant. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? So please do remember some more cases also in this. So when will range be minimum? Range is minimum and height attained by the particle is the largest when angle of projection is 90 degrees. Angle of projection should always be taken with respect to horizontal. So with respect to horizontal, if it is projected at an angle 90 degrees, will it be a case of object projected vertically upwards? Yes. So in this case, the maximum height will be more. Range will be almost 0 only. Time of flight will also be maximum. So there is a relation between range and maximum height beta. This is that relation. R tan theta value will be equal to 4h. So you can remember this relation. R tan theta will be equal to 4h. Okay. Now, and one more very important case, the horizontal range, it will be same for complementary angles of projection. So if one is projected with theta, the other should be projected with 90 minus theta. Okay. So horizontal range will be same in which case? For complementary angles of projection. If one is projected 30 degrees, other is projected 60 degrees with same speed, then in both the cases, ranges will be same again. Clear, all of you? Yes or no? Suppose in this case, in the case where ranges are same, in first case, maximum height is h1, and in second case, maximum height is h2. In first case, time of flight is t1. In second case, time of flight is t2. So when is this case, beta? If you are getting first angle of projection as theta, automatically, what would be second angle of projection? Sum of the angle should be 90 degrees. What is the meaning of complementary angles? The angle should be, sum of the two angles should be 90 degrees. Then such angles will be called as complementary angles. So what should theta 2 value be, beta? 90 minus theta. So if you add both of these, are we going to get 90 degrees or not? So let us say if the object is projected with some speed u at an angle theta, maximum height is h1, time of flight is t1. When it is projected with the same speed u, but at an angle 90 minus theta, maximum height is h2, time of flight is t2. So in this case, will ranges be same, beta? Yes, in both the cases, ranges will be same. R1 value will be equal to R2 value. Suppose they are asking you to find ranges value. Heights are given. Then I can directly write range will be given as 4 root of h1 h2. If time of flights are given and they're asking you to find range, you can directly write it as half g t1 t2. Clear? These two are very, very important cases, guys. Relation between maximum height and range, r tan theta value will be equal to 4h. In the same manner, just a second. So r tan theta value will be equal to 4h and range will be same for complementary angles of projection, right? What is the meaning of complementary angles? Sum of both the angles should be 90 degrees. Clear all of you? So in first case, if h1 is the maximum height, in second case, if h2 is the maximum height, if maximum heights are given, then range will be 4 root of h1 h2. If time of flights are given, then range will be half g t1 t2. Understood all of you? Yes or no? Clear everyone?
Yes.
Right. See, now what they'll give you is in projectile motion or in motion under gravity, basically remember an object can be at same position at two different instants. When I say same position, I am talking about same vertical displacement from the ground. So in motion under gravity, what is the logic beta? An object can be at same horizontal level or same vertical position at two different instants. As you can see, whenever object is projected, right? See, object has been projected. Is it at same vertical level at two different instants or not? If those times are given, direct case guys, if those times are given, then I'll directly write the time of lights will be sum of those times t1 plus t2 beta. And the height at which they are present, as it is already given, it is given as half g t1 t2. Clear? And during the entire case, A and B, are they on same horizontal level? Yes, they are on same horizontal level. So as they are on same horizontal level, will there be any displacement in y direction? No, because there is no displacement in y direction. If I want to find average velocity between A and B, there will not be any displacement in y direction. So the entire average velocity will only be x component, which is u cos theta beta. These 3 points you should be aware in case of your object whenever it is projected. It can be at same vertical level or same horizontal position at two different instants. If those instants are given, then time of flight will directly be given as t1 plus t2. And the height at which they are present will be given as half g t1 t2. Understood all of you? Yes or no?
Yes.
So these are not required, guys. Again, we can solve all these cases, but they are not necessary to remember all these cases, guys. Then, a very simple logic of circular motion we have. When can I say object is going to perform circular motion? Whenever it is at same separation from a fixed point at all instants, then I can say object will be performing circular motion. Is that clear, all of you? Now, there are some relations again. In linear motion, you have velocity. Here you will have angular velocity, right? In case of your linear motion, you will have displacement. Here you will have angle rotated beta, theta, angular displacement also we can say. Velocity and linear velocity. So what we can write velocity as, just like velocity is written as ds bar divided by dt, omega bar will be represented as d theta bar divided by dt. Okay. Now you see here, for theta I have not written vector guys, but I have written vector for d theta. So always remember, angular displacement is in general, it is not a vector quantity. When will it be vector quantity? It will become vector quantity for small angular displacements. In general, angular displacement is not a vector quantity. It will become vector quantity if it is very less in magnitude. The small angular displacement is a vector quantity. Large angular displacement is not a vector quantity, guys. In the same manner, here you have acceleration. Here you will have angular acceleration beta. Just like acceleration is given as dv bar divided by dt, angular acceleration will be given as d omega bar divided by dt. Clear everyone? Yes or no? So always remember, whenever object performs circular motion, there will be two components of acceleration. One will be your centripetal acceleration directed towards center. Other will be your tangential acceleration directed along the tangent, guys. There is a relation between linear speed and angular speed. V will be equal to R omega will be that particular relation between linear speed as well as your angular speed beta. Right. So we have two types of accelerations. One is tangential acceleration, other is centripetal acceleration. Always remember, centripetal acceleration is given as v square by r or omega square r, or we can write it as v into omega. Okay, tangential acceleration, it may be written as dv by dt, but basically it is rate of change in speed, guys. So which component of acceleration will affect the speed? Always remember, tangential acceleration will change the speed of the object performing circular motion. Centripetal acceleration is not going to affect the speed. Centripetal acceleration will always be along the radius. Velocity will always be along the tangent. Radius and tangent, basic properties are perpendicular to each other. And perpendicular components are usually independent. So centripetal acceleration will not affect the speed or velocity in circular motion. Which component will affect the speed or velocity in circular motion? Tangential acceleration. It is also given as rate of change in speed, guys. D by dt of v bar. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? So we got to know relation between linear speed and angular speed, but there is also relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Although we represent v is equal to r omega, we tend to remember velocity as r bar cross omega bar, but it is wrong, guys. Okay, velocity will be given as omega bar cross r bar. In the same manner, we will get centripetal acceleration as omega bar cross v bar, tangential acceleration as alpha bar cross r bar. Okay. What is the direction of omega bar? Very important, guys. Let us say the sense of rotation is anti-clockwise. Right? If we talk about the sense of rotation, this particular object is trying to rotate in anti-clockwise sense. Now, don't say anti-clockwise will be the direction of angular velocity. No, guys. Anti-clockwise is simply the sense of rotation. So, what are we going to do? Along the sense of rotation, we are going to curl the fingers of right hand. Direction of thumb will be perpendicular to the direction of angular velocity. Circular motion is what, beta? Is it a plane motion or it is a motion in space? Circular motion I'm talking about. Is it motion in plane or motion in space? Circular motion is motion in plane. And always remember, angular velocity will be perpendicular to the plane in which object performs circular motion. If object is performing circular motion in xy plane, then angular velocity will be along z direction. And as you can see just now here, guys, angular velocity is given as d theta bar by dt. So d theta bar will also have same direction as that of angular velocity. Small angular displacement and angular velocity, how will they be? They will be in a direction perpendicular to the plane in which object performs circular motion. Clear? And the total acceleration, the net acceleration, guys, it will be given as vector sum of centripetal acceleration as well as tangential acceleration. What will tangential acceleration do? Tangential acceleration will change the speed of the object. Okay. Centripetal acceleration will ensure that the object moves in circular path. So always remember, whenever object performs circular motion, there should definitely be a component of acceleration directed towards the center. Right? That acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration. Can it act on its own? No, it has to be provided. Whereas tangential acceleration may be there, may not be there. If speed is changing, tangential acceleration will be there. If speed is not changing, tangential acceleration will not be there. Clear, all of you? Yes or no? Based on whether speed is changing or not, We have two types of circular motion. One is uniform circular motion. The other happens to be non-uniform circular motion. Now, in uniform circular motion, speed will remain constant. Speed is constant. Means, will there be any tangential acceleration? No, guys. As you can see, tangential acceleration will be 0. So, total acceleration will simply be centripetal acceleration. Clear? Only centripetal acceleration will be there. And in non-uniform circular motion, what will be the situation? Speed and angular velocity changes with time, guys. So because speed is changing with time, right? The tangential acceleration will be non-zero. See, total acceleration will now be vector sum of tangential and centripetal acceleration. Tangential and centripetal means both will be perpendicular to each other or not. Because both of them are perpendicular to each other, the net acceleration can be given as under root of tangential acceleration square plus centripetal acceleration square. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Circular motion in which speed constant, uniform circular motion. Circular motion in which speed is varying, non-uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, will tangential acceleration be there? No. Why? Because speed is remaining constant. In non-uniform circular motion, tangential acceleration be there? Yes. Total acceleration will be given as under root of centripetal acceleration square and tangential acceleration square. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right. If we talk about equations of motion, guys, I'll just add up over here few points again. You know the equations of motion, right? What are those? V bar will be given as u bar plus a bar into t. In the same manner over here, what I'll write, omega bar will be given as omega naught bar plus alpha into t. Similarly, we know S bar displacement is given as u bar t plus half a bar t square. Yes or no? Whereas over here, I'll talk about angle rotated. It is given as omega naught t plus half alpha t square, guys. It's given as omega naught t plus half alpha t square. In the same manner, v bar square is u bar square plus 2a bar s bar. In circular motion, you will write it as omega square will be omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta. These are important cases in your circular motion. Any doubts in this, all of you? Yes or no? Speed constant, uniform. Speed varying, non-uniform. Clear? Bit clear? Hello, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Let us solve questions of motion in a plane, guys. Again, it's a very important chapter. Definitely two questions will come from this chapter, guys. Just give me a second. Am I audible and visible, all of you? Yes, no? అరే కొంచెం మాట్లాడండి రా భయ్.
Yes.
Let us solve some questions of motion in a plane, guys. A particle starts from origin at t is equal to 0 with some velocity c. It is starting in which direction? It has velocity in y direction, guys. And it is moving in xy plane with constant acceleration. Acceleration is there both along positive x direction and negative y direction. Position coordinates of the particles when the velocity of the particle becomes parallel to the x-axis. So what is happening to y component now? So initially you see, this is the situation. I'm just showing it like this, guys. This is initially. How is velocity? In this manner. How much velocity? 6 meter per second. Is there acceleration? Yes, there is acceleration. See, once from by reading the question, if you are able to successfully draw the diagram, you will be easily getting the answer, guys. Now it is under constant acceleration. You see, can I write it as 2i cap plus 2 minus j cap? So it has two components now. One component of acceleration 2 meter per second square like this. Other component of acceleration 2 meter per second square like this. So what will happen? Let us forget about x motion. X and y are independent of each other. Whatever happens in y direction will be independent of x. Whatever happens in x direction will be independent of y. So forget about this 2 meter per second square, guys. In y direction, you tell me what is happening. In y direction, velocity is upwards, acceleration is downwards. How will object move? It will move in the direction of velocity with a decreasing speed till its velocity becomes 0. Now what they have mentioned, velocity of the particle becomes parallel to x-axis. What is the meaning of velocity of particle becoming parallel to x-axis? Means there should not be any velocity in y direction. The velocity in y direction should become how much beta? 0. Right? Now, forget about these two. Forget about these two. Think about this, guys, now. It doesn't have any initial velocity in x direction, but it has an acceleration 2 meter per second square in y direction. So what will happen? As time passes, it will accelerate along x direction. As time passes, it will move in y direction with decreasing speed till its velocity becomes how much? 0. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you understand, guys? Okay. Now, what I'll do, I'll write y equation separately and x equation separately, guys. So in y direction, vy bar should be equal to uy bar plus ay bar into t. What should happen to final velocity? Final velocity is parallel to x-axis. Means it is along x direction. There will not be any velocity in y direction. Final velocity in y direction, 0. Initial velocity in y direction, plus 6 you can write. Acceleration in y direction, minus 2. Time interval do I know? I don't know. So I can write 6 minus 2t. 6 value will be equal to 2t. So after what time will velocity become parallel to x-axis? After 3 seconds. Okay, now they're asking position beta. So if I want to find position, what I'll do? Sy bar will be equal to uy bar into t plus half ay bar into t square. So because it is starting at origin, what is displacement? Displacement is change in position, guys. So what I can write, anyhow you can write sy bar will be equal to what is uy bar? 6 into after how much time? 3 seconds. Acceleration is what? Minus 2. After how much time? 3 square. So what will I get sy bar as beta? It is 18. 2 and 2 will get cancelled out. Minus 9. Will it be 9 meters or not? Yes. So what is change? What is displacement here? I can write final position in y direction minus initial position in y direction will be 9 meters. So what is final position in y direction? Because initial position is at origin, so you can write it as 9j cap. Clear? In the same manner, right? I also want to find displacement in x direction. So what will I get displacement in x direction as? I'll directly write it as ux bar into t plus half ax bar into t square. Is there any initial velocity in x direction? No. So I'll write displacement in x direction as this is anyhow 0 half into plus 2 into 3 square, which will be how much beta again? 9. Okay. So what I can write? Final position in x minus initial position in x will be equal to 9. Already initial position is 0. So what I can write here, final position in x direction will also be 9 I cap. So what will the answer be, beta? 9 comma 9 will be the coordinates when velocity becomes parallel to x-axis. What is the meaning of velocity become parallel to x-axis? Velocity becoming parallel to x-axis means there will not be any component of velocity in y direction. So I'll use y component of velocity 0. I'll get the time when velocity becomes parallel to x-axis. Using this time, I'll calculate displacement in x direction and displacement in y direction. Is that clear? Yes or no, everyone? From tomorrow onwards, regularly, we will have 2.5 hours class, guys. Okay, because I think we have lost almost like 4 or 5 classes. We are a little bit lagging also. So in the meanwhile, by next week, whatever was supposed to be completed, right, I will ensure from my end that it will be completed, guys. So a minimum of 2.5 hours will certainly be from tomorrow onwards. Clear, all of you? Now, what they have given in the next question, you see, speed of projectile at the point of projection is root 2 times the speed at its maximum height. So what we can say in this situation directly, speed of projectile at point of projection, we know it is u, is root 2 times the speed at maximum height. What is the speed at maximum height? Just now I told you it has only horizontal component, and horizontal component will always remain constant. What we can cancel out? U and U will get cancelled out. So what will be left out, beta? Speed of projection at point of projection is root 2 times the speed at its maximum height. The angle of projection, we got cos theta value as 1 by root 2. For what value will cos be 1 by root 2? For 45 degrees, guys. So answer should be how much here? 45 degrees. Clear, everyone? Same manner. Next case, very important case. Particle moves such that its position vector is given as a sine omega t plus b cos omega t. Position vectors, which of the following is true? Now, this will be a case where object is moving along a ellipse, guys. Suppose you have r bar as a sine omega t plus a cos omega t. Then it will be a case where object is moving along circle again. So you know position vector here. What is position vector given as? A sine omega t I cap plus b cos omega t j cap. What are they asking? Which of the following are true? Velocity and acceleration both are perpendicular to r bar. Velocity is perpendicular to r bar, acceleration is directed towards origin. Velocity is parallel to r bar, acceleration is parallel to r bar. So these options they have given. Because we know velocity is varying with time, because we know position is varying with time, can I write velocity as dr bar divided by dt? Yes or no? What will this be? D by dt of a sine omega t I cap plus b cos omega t j cap. So what are we going to get velocity as, beta? I'll get it as sine derivative will be anyhow cos. So I'll get it as, I'm directly writing it, guys. A omega cos omega t I cap. Cos derivative will be minus sine. So I'll get it as minus b omega sine omega t j cap. This was our position vector. This is our velocity vector. Because velocity is again varying with time, I can write acceleration as dv bar divided by dt. What will this become, beta? I can write it as d by dt of a omega cos omega t I cap minus b omega sine omega t j cap. Okay, if I again write directly over here, so what will our acceleration vector be? If you just solve for it directly, cos derivative will be again minus sine, beta. You'll get it as minus a omega square sine omega t I cap. Sine derivative will be again cos, so I can write it as plus b omega square cos omega t j cap. Sorry, minus only. So what I can write a bar value as minus omega square. If I take common, I'll get a sine omega t I cap plus b cos omega t j cap. Is that clear? Now please tell me, what is this A sin omega t I cap plus B cos omega t j cap? What is it, beta? Is it r bar or not? So minus omega square r bar. So what I can say, can I write it as omega square into minus r bar? Yes. So acceleration is anti-parallel to r bar. Is this correct, all of you? The acceleration is opposite to r bar will be correct statement. Now, I need to check whether velocity and position are perpendicular or not. So in order to check whether velocity and position are perpendicular or not, what I'll use? I'll use r bar dot v bar, guys. What will you get r bar dot v bar as? So if we multiply these two, what are we going to get? A square omega sine omega t cos omega t. And if I multiply these two, I'll get it as minus b square omega sine omega t cos omega t. I'll get something like this. If I'm doing, so if I take omega constant, omega sine omega t cos omega t constant, I'll get it as a square minus b square. Is this 0? It is not 0. If it was 0, then r bar and velocity vector would have been perpendicular to each other. Okay, clear? Suppose here r bar dot v bar, what is given? If a and b are equal, if a is equal to b, what will r bar dot v bar be? A square minus b square will obviously be 0 or not? R bar dot v bar will be 0. When will product of two dot product of two vectors be 0? Implies r bar is perpendicular to v bar. So I can say r bar is perpendicular to v bar only if a and b are equal, guys. Clear? And a bar will always be opposite to r bar for any values of a and b. What I can say, velocity is perpendicular to r bar for a equal to v, and acceleration is opposite to r bar for any value of a and b. Fourth option will be correct. Suppose if position vector is given as a sin omega t plus a cos omega t, then it will be a case of circular motion. Because it is given as a sin omega t plus b cos omega t, it will not be circle, guys. It is going to be an ellipse again. Understood? Yes or no? How do you check whether two vectors are perpendicular or not? How do you check if two vectors are perpendicular? The dot product should be how much, beta? The dot product should be 0. Did I get dot product of position vector and velocity vector 0? No, I didn't get it in reality. When did I get? If magnitude of A and B are equal, then only I got it. Yes or no? Is that clear, all of you? Understood or not, everyone? It's a good question based on differentiation. Let us move to the next question. A particle is moving such that its position coordinates are varying with time, it seems. Right. Particle is moving such that its position coordinates are varying with time. At t is equal to these are the positions. At t is equal to 2 seconds, these are the positions. At t is equal to 6 seconds, these are the positions. They're asking us to find average velocity. Basic logic of average velocity. What is average velocity? We know it is given as total displacement divided by total time. Yes or no? It is given as total displacement divided by total time taken. As simple as that. Now you see, initial position you see, guys, it is 0, 2. Right. Final position you see after 6 seconds, it is 8, 8. So this is our x initial, x final, y initial, y final. So what will be displacement in x direction? If I want to find displacement in x direction, it will be x final minus x initial I cap. The displacement in x direction, what will I get? I will get it as 8 I cap. In the same manner, displacement in y direction, if I want to find, I'll use it as y final minus y initial j cap. So what will I get displacement in y direction as? 8 minus 2 I'll get, which is 6 j cap. Okay. So what is total displacement? I'll write total displacement as S bar divided by total time taken as T. And how can I write S bar, beta? S bar can be written as displacement because it is also vector quantity. It will follow principle of superposition. Sx bar plus Sy bar divided by T. What is displacement in x direction? 8 I cap plus y direction 6 j cap divided by T is how much? 6. So what will I get? 4 by 3 I cap plus j cap. This will be your average velocity. Clear, everyone? Basic logic, average velocity is always total displacement divided by total time. Average speed is always total distance divided by total time. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Angle of projection of a projectile for which range is double the maximum height. Now, just now we have seen that there is a certain relation between range and maximum height. What is that relation, beta? R tan theta value will be equal to 4h. What they are saying, angle of projection, range is double the maximum height. So here can I say R value will be 2h or not? 2h tan theta value will be equal to 4h. What will I get tan theta value as? 2. Implies what will theta value be, beta? Tan inverse of 2. So theta is the angle of projection over here. So what is the relation? It is very important again. Relation between range and maximum height. R tan theta value will be equal to 4h, guys. Clear, everyone? Let us see this question. When water jet comes out from a point O on the ground at speed v at an angle 45 with the horizontal, the speed v of jet so that it can just wet the man up to the head. So what is the logic here? Suppose if I say here we have our tap, guys, and connected to a certain pipe. From pipe we are projecting water again. It is projected with some speed v, or you whatever you want to mention it. At what angle? 45 degrees. Now he is saying the speed v such that it can wet the man up to his head. So is this the path followed or not? So for a man to get wet up to his head, I should say that the water jet, whatever is coming out, it should pass through the head of the man or above the head of the man. So here, what is the head of the man given? The height of the man, if they are asking, guys, has been given as 2.4 meters. And if they're asking range, then it is given as 4 meters, beta. They're asking what is the speed going to be. So it has two components or not. One will be x component, other will be y component again. Okay. Yes or no, all of you? Now, as soon as the water jet comes out of the pipe, will it start to move only under the effect of gravity or not? It will only move under the effect of gravity. So can I resolve into two components, beta? Here I'll resolve into two components. One is how much? V cos 45. Other is how much? V sine 45. Okay. So what is the height here? So displacement. This is our initial position. This is our final position. From initial to final in y direction, displacement is 2.4. So I can write displacement in y direction is 2.4 j cap. Displacement in x direction, how much is it? 4 I cap. So they are asking us speed, guys. So what we can write displacement in x direction as, or displacement in y direction if I write, is given as uy bar into t plus half ay bar into t square. Should be equal to how much here? 2.4. So we have to find out what? ठीक है. Shall I erase this part? Let me just erase this. So time is not given to us, so we are going to get two different cases again. But what I can say is, see, exactly I cannot say that this should be maximum height for sure. It is not necessary that this should be maximum height, guys. The water jet comes out from a point O on the ground at a speed v at an angle 45 degrees with horizontal as shown. The speed v of the jet so that it can wet the man up to his head. So it is not necessary that this should be maximum height. Okay. it can be some height, it can be placed anywhere again. So v value they are asking, no? So what we can use in this case? We know the, we got to know this value point p. If I take this as 0 comma 0, this point will become x comma y, which is nothing but 4 comma 2.4. Theta also we know it is 45 degrees. I'm going to get two unknowns again. One is time and other will be speed. So by using these two equations, we can get it, I guess. Okay. So you can use it, guys. Uy bar into t plus half ay bar into t square will be equal to 2.4. Here in the same manner, ux bar into t plus half ax bar into t square should be equal to 4. Already there is no acceleration x direction. Ux bar into t can be taken as 4. Here you can write uy bar into t plus half ay bar into t square will be equal to what, beta? 2.4. Speed they are asking now. What is vertical component of velocity? V sine 45 means I can write v by root 2. Yes or no? What is the time? I don't know. I'll keep it aside. What is acceleration in y direction? It is moving under the effect of gravity minus g into t square will be equal to 2.4. What is this? U cos theta you can write, which is v cos 45, which I'll get as v by root 2 into t will be equal to how much, beta? This will be equal to 4. Now what we can do using these two equations? One equation we got v by root 2 into t minus half gt square is equal to 2.4. Other equation we got v by root 2 into t is equal to 4. Yes or no? So what I can do? In place of v by root 2 into t, I can just substitute 4 minus half into 10 into t square will be equal to what, beta? 2.4. So 5 into t square if I do, I'll get it as 1.6. Yes or no? So what will I get t square value as? 1.6 divided by 5. Yes or no? Is it going to be... Okay, t square value we got 1.6 divided by 5 into 10 by 10 if I do, guys, I'll get t square value as 16 divided by 50, or I'll get t value as 4 divided by 5 root 2. Clear all of you? This much time we will get. Now when you got the time, can you find the speed? Yes. So what I can do, directly you can substitute here. So v divided by root 2. What is time? 4 divided by 5 root 2 should be equal to what? 4. What you can cancel out? 4, 4 gone. So what will v value be? It will be 10 meter per second. Clear everyone? See, I cannot definitely say that this is maximum height of the projectile. It may be some height. And I cannot say that this is maximum range. It can be some range again. Okay. Yes or no, all of you? Is that clear? Right. They have given that a particle is moving. Particle moves with velocity in xy plane. General equation of its path they are asking. What would be the equation of path they are asking? V bar will be cxy square I cap plus cyx square j cap. General equation of its path they are asking, guys. So can I write this as dx by dt? Can I write this as dy by dt? It is x component of velocity, no? This can I write as dy by dt? Yes. So what are we going to obtain? Here dx by dt can be written as 4xy square, cxy square. Yes or no? What do you can write dx value as? Cx into y square into dt. Okay. Now differentiation is there. In order to remove differentiation, what will we apply? We'll apply integration, guys. Here only x is the variable with time, guys. So what I can write? X value will be c into y square. I can bring outside. Okay. So integral dx by x you will get, no? Particle moves with velocity in xy plane. it is cxy square plus cyx square j cap. Generally, equation of its path they are asking. ठीक है, तो can I write it as dx by x will be equal to c into y square into dt beta? Yes or no? Differentiation is there. In order to remove differentiation, we'll apply integration. So integral dx by x happens to be ln x will be equal to cy square. You will take common only into t. You will write. In the same manner, dy by dt I can write it as cyx square. So what will I get? Dy by y as cx square into t. Cx square into dt you will get actually. Differentiation is there. Again, if you want to remove differentiation, you'll apply integration. What are we going to get? Ln y value will be c into x square into t. One we got c into y square into t, other we got c into x square into t, guys. I need to relate between. Okay. So what we can write time as? I'll just use both of these equations. What can we write time as, beta? Ln x will be equal to cy square into time can be written as what? Ln y divided by cx square can be right or not? What will cancel out? C and C will get cancelled out. What I'll have? Ln x divided by ln y will be equal to y square divided by x square. Okay. What else can we do now? Equation of the path they have asked. Dx by dt we got, dy by dt we got. We have to eliminate time. Okay, keep it aside. We'll just cross check it once. dv by dt cxy square cyx square. Ln x by ln y we got it as y square by x square. Okay, we'll keep it aside. We'll do it once again. Which of the following set of magnitude of vectors cannot form a zero resultant? They have asked. Which one cannot form a zero resultant? Basically, I've told you the sum of their magnitudes should be less than or equal to difference of their magnitude should be less than or equal to sum of their should be less than or equal to resultant of two vectors should be less than or equal to a plus b, guys. Now, if you add any two vectors, the resultant should be lesser than those two values. If I take 1 plus 2, you are getting 3 again. Yes or no? So sum of the two sides should be less than the third side. It should form a triangle again. Okay, if I do 1 plus 2, you'll get 3, which cannot give zero resultant they're asking. Okay. 25, 5 and 15, you'll get 20. Yes or no, yaar? You know property of triangle, sum of two sides should always be greater than the third side or not? Yes or no, yaar? Which of the following set of magnitude of vectors cannot give zero resultant? Which cannot give zero resultant they're asking, guys? Which will not give zero resultant again? Which cannot form a triangle? What? Which vectors will form a triangle? Sum of two sides should always be greater than the third side. That only will form a triangle, guys, again. Zero resultant, you remember or not? Whenever n vectors are representing n sides of a closed polygon, then the resultant will always be 0. Okay. So you see, what is the condition? Here you do 15 plus 8. You're going to get 23. So 23 is less than 20 or more than 20. So there may be a possibility this can find again. Similarly, if you do 5 plus 15, 20. Again, it is less than 25. It is not possible, guys. Here it is not possible. If you do 5 plus 8, 13. It is greater than 10. Yes or no? It is possible. Right? Then 1 plus 3, you do 4. So this is possible. This is also possible. This is also possible. Right? But this will not be possible. Right? If I do sum of 5 and 15, you got 20 only, which is lesser than 25, guys, which is not possible. Okay. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Next question, let us see. A man crosses the river of width 400 meters at 40 meter per second in minimum time, in shortest time it seems. If the velocity of man in still water is 50 meter per second, the displacement of the man while he reaches the opposite bank of the river, they're asking. Direct question again. In shortest time, what is the theta value? For shortest time, theta value should be 0 degrees. Yes or no? So they're asking if velocity of man in water is 50 meter per second and u is flowing at a rate of 40 meter per second, right? So what we can write in shortest time, they have not asked the time, guys. A man crosses a river of width 400 meters flowing at 40 meter per second in minimum time. If velocity of man in still water is 50 meter per second, what is given here? V is given as 50 meter per second, u is given as 40 meter per second, right? D value is given as 400 meters. Okay. So firstly, can we find the time beta? They are asking displacement of the man while he reaches the opposite bank of the river. Drift they are asking, guys. What are the basic logics again? Theta value is 0. Shortest time means what is the time of crossing basically? D divided by, are we going to get V cos theta beta? Yes. So I am going to get it as D divided by V because cos 0 is anyhow 1. D is how much? 400. What is V here? 50. So are we going to get 8 seconds or not? Clear? Now what are they asking? Drift value they're asking. What is drift value? U minus V sine theta into D divided by V cos theta. Yes or no? So what is U given as? 40. What is theta 0 here? Sine 0 will be 0 again. So what I can write? 40 into 400 divided by, what is V cos theta we got beta? 50 we got, no? 50 we got. So you'll get 5 ones, 5 80s again. So what are we going to get beta here? You are going to get it as 320. Clear all of you? Just check if I have done anything wrong. V value is how much? 50 only, no? D is 400. U is 40. 40 by 50 we got. 4 by 5 we'll get. Then the displacement of man while he reaches the opposite bank they have asked. So what is this beta? They have given us drift, guys. This is drift. But what are they asking? They're asking us displacement. So if I take some situation like this, he's starting here. So in order to cross the river in shortest time, how this fellow has to move? He has to move in this manner. But because of the speed of the river, this fellow will not be able to reach this point directly. He will be able to reach here. So this is our initial position. This is our final position. They're asking displacement. How will you find displacement? From initial position towards final position, we are just going to draw a vector. So were we able to find the drift? Yes. Do I know the depth? Yes. Clear. So what is the displacement they're asking? So how much will be displacement beta? Displacement if I consider, it will be under root of width square is how much? 400 square plus range is how much here? 320 square. Yes or no? What are we going to get? 80 you can take common, guys. Take 80 common. 80 square you can take common. I will be left out with 5 square plus 4 square. Yes or no? So you'll get it as 80 into under root of root 41 you will get. Understood, everyone? They've asked us to find displacement. What will be displacement? From initial towards final. Okay. It will be under root of d square plus x square. Clear? Yes or no? Is that
Yes,
clear,
sir.
all of you? Right. Then next question you see, for a man walking with a speed of 3 root 2 kilometer per hour, rain appears to fall vertically downwards. When he starts running with speed 5 root 2 kilometer per hour, rain appears to fall on him at an angle 45 degrees with vertical. So initially, as you can see, when this fellow is moving with some speed u, how is it falling, beta? Rain is falling vertically downwards. Whereas if this person is moving with speed 5 root 2 kilometer per hour, right? It appears to fall at him making an angle 45 degrees with the vertical. So it is falling like this, guys. So making an angle 45 degrees with the vertical. They're asking what is the speed of the rain with respect to the ground. So I don't know what is the speed of the rain with respect to ground. So let us imagine speed of the rain with respect to ground has two components. One is Vx I cap plus other is Vy j cap. Okay. So for a man walking with speed 3 root 2 kilometer per hour, rain appears to fall vertically downwards. When he starts running with 5 root 2 kilometer per hour, rain appears to fall on him at an angle 45 degrees with vertical. Speed of the rain they are asking, guys. Okay. So how will we solve this question again? Now you see. I want to find velocity of rain with respect to man. In first case, velocity of rain with respect to man, if I do, it will be velocity of rain with respect to ground minus velocity of man with respect to ground. Yes or no? Now, how is rain falling? It is falling vertically. So what I can write here, Vx I cap plus Vy j cap. How is the motion of man beta in first case? Is it 3 root 2 I cap or not? Is that clear? Now what will I get? Vx minus 3 root 2 I cap plus Vy j cap. This is velocity of rain with respect to man. When he is walking at 3 root 2 kilometer per hour. So when man is walking at 3 root 2 kilometer per hour, rain appears to fall to him vertically. So if rain is appearing to fall to him vertically, will there be any horizontal component? No. Because there is no horizontal component, whatever this we got, this should be equal to 0. So what we can write? Vx minus 3 root 2 should be equal to 0. So x component of rain is 3 root 2 meter per second, guys. Is this clear? X component of rain. Now I want to find y component. How will I find y component? Again, you see, again I'll apply same formula. Velocity of rain with respect to man is velocity of rain with respect to ground minus velocity of man with respect to ground. Is that clear? So what is velocity of rain with respect to man now in second case? This was in first case. This is in second case. Yes or no? Now how is it falling? By making an angle 45 degrees with the vertical, guys. So can I say horizontal component and horizontal component and vertical component, will they both be equal or not? Yes or no, yeah. Right. So I want to find velocity of rain with respect to man. How much it is making? 45 degrees it is making. So I can write velocity of rain with respect to man as what is velocity of rain with respect to ground? Is Vx I cap plus Vy j cap, but already we got Vx, no? How much did we get Vx as? 3 root 2 we got, guys. What we can write this as? 3 root 2 I cap plus what is velocity in y direction? I don't know. So I can write this is some Vy j cap minus how is man moving? 5 root 2 I cap, guys. Okay. Now if you see what is the velocity of rain with respect to man? What we can write here is 3 root 2 minus 5 root 2. Will I get minus 2 root 2 or not? You'll get minus 2 root 2 I cap plus Vy j cap. Now, how is velocity of rain with respect to man, guys? It is making an angle 45 degrees. So, when will it make 45 degrees? Can I write tan 45? Will it be equal to y by x or not? Or x by y we can write. Here you can write minus 2 root 2 divided by Vy. Tan 45 is anyhow 1. So what will you get Vy value as beta? Minus 2 root 2 j cap. Is that clear? Yes or no? So what is the speed of rain with respect to ground now? It has two components now. One is 3 root 2 I cap plus minus 2 root 2 j cap. Okay. The speed of rain with respect to ground can be taken as 3 root 2 I cap minus 2 root 2 j cap. These are talking about magnitude beta. Magnitude of speed with, so I'll get it as how much? Under root of 3 square is 9 into 2, 18 plus, how much will I get this as? 4 into 2 will be 8 again. So I'll get it as root over 26 meter per second. Is there any option like that? Root 26 is there, guys. Just give me a second. Am I audible and visible? Did you understand the question, guys? If he is moving with the speed 3 root 2, rain is falling directly vertically downwards. So what are these arrow marks? These are velocity of rain with respect to man in first case. And in second case, when he is moving with speed 5 root 2, then this is velocity of rain with respect to man, which is making an angle 45 degrees with vertical. So what I have done, basically velocity of rain with respect to man will be velocity of rain with respect to ground minus velocity of man with respect to ground. I have assumed velocity of rain with respect to ground as Vx I cap plus Vy j cap. Okay. So what did we write? Velocity of rain with respect to man as, in first case, we will get it as Vx minus 3 root 2 I cap plus Vy j cap. In first case, how is rain falling? Vertically downwards. Now also rain is falling very heavily again. So it is falling vertically downwards. So all its velocity should be in y direction. Should there be any velocity in x direction? No. So that is the reason what did we do? This component we have equated to 0. When you equated this component to 0, we got x component of velocity of rain with respect to ground, which is 3 root 2. Now in second case, I have applied the same thing, guys. In second case, we got this thing, velocity of rain with respect to ground. We already got x component, 3 root 2 I cap plus Vy j cap we wrote, minus of velocity of man with respect to ground. In second case, it is 5 root 2 I cap. So I got this component. Now, the resultant velocity, it is making 45 degrees with vertical. So it is making 45 degrees means you take its horizontal component, you take its vertical component. Should they both be equal or not? That is what we have done. Tan 45 made use of, which is minus 2 root 2 divided by. We got to find out Vy value also. We got Vx value, we got Vy value. Understood all of you? Yes or no? Very good question of rain problem. Previous one was river problem. Do you understand everyone? Are yaar, yes or no? X square y cube y square x. Is this clear, all of you? Let us move to the next question. two boys A and B initially separated by distance, a straight line on the ground. If A and B both start running simultaneously with same speed as shown in the figure, the distance of their closest approach. This is also relative motion concept. Let us try to do that concept, guys. Now, in order to understand that, what we'll do is, so I think we'll take the diagram here, guys. A is here, B is here. Initially, distance between them is A. Okay. How are they both moving? A is moving horizontally. I'll just make a note here. A is moving with speed V. B is moving by making an angle 60 degrees, guys, with speed V. Okay. So we are going to make use of relative motion concept over here. This is A, this is B. In order to find out distance of closest approach, we'll make use of which concept? Relative motion concept. And here it is given as 60 degrees. Okay. Now what I'll do this question with respect to B beta. Again, analyzing two motions will really be, again, in comparison with analyzing one motion, analyzing two motions will be little bit difficult. With respect to B, if I do, what is the meaning of with respect to B? Very simple logic. We should stop B. What we should do? We should stop B, guys. So as soon as we stop B, first I'm stopping B again. Already A is moving with some speed V. Separation between them is A. Then you are doing with respect to B, first point, we should stop B. What all quantities are there to B, we will give it to A in opposite direction. So on B, it was acting like this or not? So now on A, it will be acting in this manner. Again with horizontal, how much angle it will make? 60 degrees. Clear all of you? Yes or no, everyone? Yes. Now you see. Do we have two vectors here? So I'll take point A here. I'll take point B. Point B is just a point now. Point B is just a point now. This is point A. This is point B. So how will now A has two component of velocities or not? A have two component of velocities. So can I say A will be moving with this velocity or not? Velocity of A with respect to B, it will be moving like this along this line. B is still a point, guys. Velocity of A with respect to B is in the form of a line. So how will you find minimum separation between a point and a line? From the point, you are just going to draw a perpendicular. From this point, we are just going to drop what beta? We are just going to drop a perpendicular. So this distance will be the shortest distance. X will be the shortest distance, guys. Okay. So as you all know, whenever two vectors are represented by two sides of a parallelogram, the resultant, how will it be represented? Again, you know, it can be given as, if I say it is alpha, it will be given as tan inverse of B sine theta. How much is it? V sine 60 divided by A plus B cos theta. V plus V sine 60, V cos 60, guys. Do you remember this or not? Direction of resultant beta, it is given as tan inverse of B sine theta divided by A plus B cos theta. Yes or no? So here you can take, this is A bar, this is B bar. So what will alpha value be? Tan inverse of, how much will I get? Both are equal or not? Are they both equal, beta? So A and B both are equal now. So if I can use sine theta by 1 plus cos theta, will get 2 cos square theta by 2. I think you will get it as half tan theta by 2, guys. Okay. If not, I'll just keep it aside. So can I find the resultant vector? The resultant will be something in this manner. I need to find the angle also. In order to find the angle, what I will do, we'll use this concept only. So alpha value will be tan inverse of V sine 60 divided by 1. A and B both are equal. V plus V cos 60. So tan inverse of V will be anyhow common. You can write sine 60 divided by 1 plus cos 60. Okay. So what is sine 60? You'll get it as root 3 by 2. What is cos 60 beta? Cos 60 you'll get it as 1 by 2, which you'll get it as 3 by 2. So will I get it as tan inverse of 1 by root 3 or not? It will be anyhow along the angle bisector. Directly I should have told it. This will be tan inverse of 1 by root 3. For what angle will it be 1 by root 3? Will tan be 1 by root 3? 30 degrees. So what is this angle now? It is 30 degrees. What is this side? A. So I want to find this value. Is this opposite to angle or not? So I'll write it as A sine 30. Sine 30 is how much? 1 by 2. The shortest distance will be how much beta? A by 2. Clear everyone? This is how we solve problems related to distance of closest approach. Two motions will be there. Analyzing two motions will basically be difficult, right? Compared to analyzing one motion. So what we will do? We will stop one object. We will analyze the motion with respect to one object. Here in this case, I'm analyzing the motion with respect to B, guys. So what do we do when we analyze the motion with respect to B? First step, we will stop B. Second step, what all quantities are there to B, I will give it to A. B had velocity in this direction. I give it to A in opposite direction. So now A will be moving along the angle bisector of these two vectors, guys, along 30 degrees. So we got, so A will be moving along a line. B is a point. From a point onto a line, what is the shortest distance? The perpendicular distance will be the shortest distance. So in this case, we got it as A divided by 2. Understood everyone? Yes or no? Is that clear, if all of you? Yes, let us see. Consider three vectors A, B, C, which add up to give 0 vector. Then which of the following is false, they are asking. Right? They are all adding up to give how much vector? 0. Can you do this question? I'll keep this anyhow aside. Can you find the answer for this, guys? First, we'll do this question. Position is given. So for us, position vector is given as A into t minus 1 whole square I cap plus bt square j cap. They're asking the time after which acceleration becomes normal to the velocity. Acceleration is becoming what? Normal to the velocity. What we can find velocity as? Velocity, we know it is dr bar divided by dt. What will I get, beta? I'll get it as 2 into A into t minus 1 I cap plus 12t j cap. Direct differentiation I've done here. Again, it is also varying with time. How can I get acceleration as? dv bar divided by dt. So I'll get it as 2a I cap plus 12 j cap. Now they are saying acceleration should become perpendicular to velocity. So for acceleration to be perpendicular to velocity, when will two vectors be perpendicular? If their dot product is 0 or not. So what we can write? 2a I cap plus 12 j cap dot 2a into t minus 1 I cap plus 12t j cap should be equal to 0. Yes or no? Yes or no, yaar? So now whenever we have this, also explained you on the other day. This value should be equal to 0. So what will be dot product that I'm going to get? I'll get 4a square into t minus 1 plus 144t should be equal to 0. Yes or no? 4a square into t minus 4a square plus 144 into t should be equal to 0. So I can take 4t common. I'll get a square minus, how much will this be? 36, I believe. Yes or no? Should be equal to 4a square. So we can cancel out 4 and 4 can be cancelled out. What is the time that we are going to obtain? We're going to get it as a square divided by a square minus 36. Understood all of you? This will be the time after which velocity will become perpendicular to acceleration, or acceleration will become perpendicular to velocity. Here, did I do any mistake, guys? In this, just check once. Actually, it is bt square. I wrote 60. I wrote 60 square or what here? Sorry to write it. Here you will get it as 2bt. So, level bhai. Here you will get it as 2b. Okay, so this is your 2bt. And here you got, sorry, this is 2b only. Acceleration I've written, no? This is 2b. And here we got how much? 2bt. What I'll get? 4a square into t minus 1 plus how much is this? 4b square into t you will get. So I can write 4a square t minus 4a square plus 4b square into t should be equal to 0. If I take 4t common, I will get a square plus b square should be equal to 4a square. So you'll get the time as a square divided by a square plus b square. This will be the time after which velocity and acceleration will become perpendicular to each other. Understood all of you? Yes or no? A square divided by, how much did we get? A square plus b square. Three vectors add up to give zero vector. Which of the following is false, they are saying, guys. Right, so how can we obtain that? Can I say a bar plus b bar plus c bar should be equal to what? 0. So what I can write? Can write a bar plus b bar should be equal to minus c bar. Which of them is false, they are saying, guys. And if I just look at the options, a cross b and b cross c are equal, they are saying. A cross b cross c lies in the plane of a, b and c. Okay, so we'll just do this. Three vectors are forming zero resultant, guys. Then obviously they all should lie in same plane again. They all should lie in same plane. So a bar plus b bar plus c bar should be 0. They all should lie in same plane. So I can get a bar plus b bar will be equal to minus b bar. What I'll do is I'll do b bar on both sides. Should be equal to b bar cross minus c bar. What will I get here, beta? B bar cross a bar plus b bar cross b bar. You cannot do cross product of similar vectors, guys. Again, will I get it as minus of b bar cross c bar? So what is b bar cross b bar? You cannot do cross product of two vectors which are in same direction. So I'll get b bar cross a bar will be equal to minus of b bar cross c bar. Or I can write a bar cross b bar minus, if I send on the other side, we'll get b bar cross c bar. So automatically magnitude of a cross b will be equal to magnitude of b cross c. First one is correct statement, guys, and the directions will also be equal anyhow. Now what they are writing here, they're doing cross product with c bar, I believe. A cross b should be equal to b cross c. This is correct. A bar cross b bar cross c bar lies in the plane of a bar, b bar and c bar. So a bar cross b bar, if I take, it is perpendicular to the plane. And if I do b cross c, guys, it will lie in the plane. This is also correct statement only. Okay. A cross b will be perpendicular to both a bar and b bar. Right. So this is perpendicular to c bar also. Okay. So c cross or whatever it is, huh? If A bar and B bar are perpendicular, then A bar cross B bar dot C bar is ABC, it seems. You'll get this as A, B sine 90 again. Okay. It will also be perpendicular to C bar. A cross B will be perpendicular to C bar, guys. If I do dot product of this is correct statement. This is correct. This is wrong, guys. Because suppose I'll just show you three vectors over here. Very simple logic, guys. I'll take three vectors. If they are forming zero resultant, then automatically I should write this is A bar. I can say this is B bar, and I can say this is C bar. Okay. They are going to form zero resultant. A bar, B bar, and C bar. So A bar you can take like this. So A bar and B bar are in this manner. So when I do A cross B, I am going to get a vector perpendicularly outwards. So one vector A cross B is outward, C bar is like this. What is the angle between them? 90 degrees. So if I am doing dot product between two vectors which are perpendicular to each other, will I get 0 or not? Yes, we are going to get 0. So A, B and C. A cross B when I am doing. When we do A cross B, I am going to get it in outward direction, which is perpendicular to the plane. So A cross B is perpendicular to the plane. C bar is like this. So angle between them is anyhow 90 degrees. If I do dot product of two vectors which are perpendicular to each other, dot product will be how much beta? 0. Dot product will be how much? It is going to be 0. Is that clear, everyone? Am I audible, all of you? So A bar cross B bar dot C bar will always be 0. If three vectors are lying in same plane, if I am doing cross product of two vectors, the cross product of two vectors will definitely be perpendicular to the third vector, right? And when we do dot product of two vectors which are perpendicular to each other, whatever may be the angle between A bar and B bar, A bar cross B bar dot C bar will always be 0. So which of them is the wrong statement? The third statement, which states A cross B dot C is ABC, is wrong statement, guys. Understood, all of you? Yes or no? Let us see the next question. A particle starts from rest on a circle of radius 25 by pi meter with uniformly increasing speed. Speed is changing here. If speed is not changing, it is uniform circular motion. Whenever speed keeps on changing, it will be non-uniform circular motion. It is going to be non-uniform circular motion. So what they are saying is it is completing 5 revolutions after 5 seconds of motion. Then tangential acceleration will be. Right. So when we talk about tangential acceleration, basically, as I said just now, tangential acceleration is this rate at which speed is changing. So what they have given, or I can also write as r into alpha, guys. They are saying that it has completed 5 revolutions in 5 seconds. In each revolution, it will complete or make an angle of 2 pi radian, guys. So what is the total angle rotated here? For each revolution, 2 pi radian you are going to get. Okay. And what is theta value? This you will get it as 10 pi radian. This is happening in how much time? In 5 seconds. What else is given? Let me just go back. So it is starting from rest on a circle of radius 25 by pi with uniformly increasing speed. If it complete 5 revolutions after 5 seconds, then tangential acceleration they are asking. So who will be? So can we find out angular speed from this? You know angle rotated, you know the time interval. So omega will be given as theta divided by t, which is 10 pi divided by 5. You will get it as 2 pi radian per second. Now you can apply it is uniformly increasing. So I can apply this, guys. Omega will be equal to omega naught plus alpha into t. So what is omega naught? It is starting from rest. Omega naught value will be 0. Alpha I don't know. In how much time it is becoming? 5 seconds. So what we can also write 2 pi value will be equal to 5 alpha implies alpha value will be 2 pi by 5 radian per second square. So what is our tangential acceleration now? It will be given as r alpha. R was given as 25 by pi. And what did I get alpha value? 2 pi by 5 we got. So you can cancel out pi and pi. Alpha value will be 80 value will be 10 meter per second square, guys. I'm going to get tangential acceleration as 10 meter per second square. You can also apply omega square is omega naught square plus 2 alpha theta. Okay. Omega square will be equal to, actually, because you don't know omega value, so you keep it aside, guys. Am I audible, all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
There is a power cut over here, but still. Is the screen visible? So they gave us R value. They're asking us to find tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration is responsible for changing the speed, guys. So after 5 revolutions, it will rotate 10 pi radian. It is doing so in 5 seconds. So we can find omega value as theta divided by t. Initially, it is starting from rest. Omega naught value will be 0. So omega naught is 0. Omega we got 10 pi. From there, we can calculate alpha. You know R value. So tangential acceleration will be given as R into alpha, guys. Is that clear, all of you? 10 meter per second square will be the answer for that. Understood? Let us try doing next question, guys. In the given figure, the maximum height of the projectile they are asking. So what is given, you see? We know the initial point of projection, which is 0, comma 0. And we know some arbitrary point, guys. We know some arbitrary point x, comma y. From this, you see x value is how much? 18 meters. Y value is how much? 12 meters. You know angle of projection? Yes. Can we find range from this? Yes. How you can find? We know equation of trajectory. Y is given as how much? X tan theta into 1 minus x divided by r. So y value we already got it as 12 will be equal to 18 into tan 45 is anyhow 1 minus 18 divided by r you will get, guys. So I can write 2 by so what here and theta equal to 4. From that h value it will be r divided by 4, which turns out to be 54 will be 5 meters. Of you?
Your voice is lagging.
I know. Just a second. Guys, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is the board visible? Is the board visible?
No, sir. Yes, it is.
So you understood this question? Some arbitrary point is given and point of projection is given. Angle of projection is also given. So you know x value and y value. By using equation of trajectory, y is equal to x tan theta into 1 minus x by r, you can find the range. Once you find the range, by using relation between range and maximum height, you can find out the value of h also. Clear? Yes or no? Am I audible, everyone? Okay, let us move on to the next question. In the case that is given here, a particle is moving on a circle of radius 2 meters. Its speed is varying. How is speed varying? Speed is varying as alpha into t square. They're asking us to find ratio of ratio of radial acceleration, tangential acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds. Is there anything? Speed is- So what we can do is, am I audible or hello? Am I audible?
So you're audible, sir, but your voice is lagging here and there.
There is a actually, so I am Wi-Fi is there, everything is there. No power came back, right? But still, no, because it's raining heavily. Right? It's also lightning, huh? So I think there is a problem with the internet. Now is it fine?
Yes, sir,
Is it
better.
fine? Right? Particle is moving on a circle. It seems speed is given. They're asking radial acceleration to tangential acceleration ratio. So what is the meaning of tangential acceleration? It is that particular rate at which speed is changing. So what I'll get tangential acceleration as? I'll get it as dv divided by dt, which I can write it as d by dt of alpha into t square. So tangential acceleration, I'll get it as 2 alpha t beta. So what is tangential acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds? You will get it as 4 alpha. 4 alpha meter per second square you will get. Similarly, what will be centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration is always given as v square divided by r. So if I want to find centripetal acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds, so what is this value? You will get v value as 4 alpha whole square divided by 2 only again So 16 alpha square divided by 2 you will get, which is 8 alpha meter per second square, guys. So what is the ratio again? It will be 8 alpha divided by 8 alpha square divided by 4 alpha, which turns out to be 2 alpha, guys. Clear, everyone? Understood? Yes or no? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do again, we will continue this class tomorrow, guys, okay? If facing issues, we'll continue the class tomorrow. How many problems are left? अरे यार. Some good amount of questions are only also pending. Right, we'll do some more questions again. Power cut. अरे यार. Is the board visible, everyone?
Sir,
Hello.
you're stuck, sir.
Tomorrow, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you, guys.